It's like a lot of people like to fight if someone like talks bad about each other. So then for other students, it becomes entertaining, and then other students start telling other students to go fight him or to go fight somebody else.
A lot of guys, they fight to get like like how we say, like power over someone. A lot of people be fighting, so they'll be like, oh, I got more, I'm better than him. Or they'll fight, sometimes they'll fight over a girl. There's like different stuff they'll be fighting over.
They think it's like the social norm to be violent, to disrespect another culture, to disrespect another ethnicity. I think that's what happens around that age. As they mature, they get
Like
older.
bullying.
Kind of, yes, bullying, making differences among different. It doesn't have to be even Pakistani or Indian cultures versus some of these American, like white or African American. It's all.
I feel like it's more of a like not being disciplined. Like kids nowadays, like they don't listen to their parents. It starts from home actually. They don't listen to their parents. They come to school, they just act like whatever. There's no discipline in classes. Students talking back to teachers. It's just like discipline is not nowhere here in this school.
Culture like?
So like kids like to do this because they just have like attention span of like they want to see fights consistently, right? So their brain doesn't function as like adults because they're still immature because we're obviously kids. It's like they don't care about the fights. They care about the fights, but they don't care about stopping it. They just care about getting a video out of it and just want to see violence.
Other people will record stuff. They'll not jump in to like help the other person. Like sometimes what will happen, I went to school, it was ghetto, and then some people, I've seen kids literally went to hospital because of these fights.
No, it's not really bullying. It's more instigating, like instigating somebody to go do something else, like peer pressuring somebody to do it.
A lot of people don't go into, oh, you know what, let me go protect them, let me go do this. No, they're like, oh, you know what, I'll record them, I'll put it on TikTok, YouTube, and all these places and get money off of it. So that's what a lot of people like to do. They just like to make money off of these things.
If I posted that video, right, I could go viral and I'll make like at least like $1,000 off it. If I get like 2-3 million views, I can make so much money off of that. And that's what kids want to do. They just want to make money.
Unfortunately, now the cell phone is probably one of the best and worst inventions for students. The cell phone is used throughout schools to record these types of incidences. A lot of times in the past where maybe students would break up fights when they see fights happening, now the first thing they do is they take their camera out and they start recording them. They post it, see how many likes they can get.
The social media, that's one of the issues that we're addressing, and we're trying to limit. In fact, we have a collective lawsuit in place right now that we're putting together as a district, and Broward County is actually leading that in order to see if we can curb the influence of social media on our students as well.
There's bullying that happens on a daily basis, unfortunately. And the one thing which I can say is that the one way to stop a bully is to stop a bully. And to stop a bully by reporting an incident. So I will say that if you either are a victim of discrimination, a victim of bullying, or that you witness it, because it's just as important that some of you may witness things that are happening, is that those incidents get reported. Broward County Public Schools has a very proficient reporting system on how to report it. We are responsible for reacting to every single bullying incident that happens in the school district. And what we found is that if you act on it immediately, it tends to really de-escalate and really provide an opportunity for learning, for exchange, for understanding, rather than just simply being an imbalance where one student may feel power over another student because of whatever reason. So
one of the biggest problems that we get, oftentimes, if somebody comes to our office reporting bullying, and we talk to them about, we always go into their history of their school and how it's been years prior. And there's often a pattern of it that was just never reported. And I tell our clients, if you didn't report it, it didn't happen. We've gotten calls where some of our clients are subjects of an arrest, or they reacted to an instance of bullying in the worst way. And now we're actually defending them.
we investigate every incident and we take every incident seriously. And so as part of the investigation, we always find the student that was involved in it. Believe it, we don't have cameras in the bathrooms, but we have cameras throughout all the schools, and we're able to isolate and find the students who are involved. And so when we investigate, we try to treat them as a hate crime, but we can't treat them as a hate crime because you have to prove intent. And so the only intent that we can find from asking students about why is it that they continue to do these things is, I was just joking. And that consistently, every student who gets caught, I was just joking. And so we treat it as graffiti because that's the only thing we can treat it. We can't prove it as a hate crime. But I say that because there's more hate out there than obviously just anti-Muslim hate. Anti-Semitic acts, and even the N-word. We had to investigate the other day, the N-word being written in one of our schools. So what can we do is we can all stand together and not tolerate any of these things, any of these incidences. When we hear jokes, people are joking around, and you hear jokes all the time. Jokes are harmful because if you allow those jokes to continue, then these jokes could then escalate into something even greater. So I challenge all of you to be the witnesses out there, to not be a part of any of this hate, even when it's just joking. And when you see it happening, do something to stop it immediately. Because if you stop it immediately, it usually stops. But if you tolerate it, then it continues to fester and sometimes it escalates.